Everybody, it's Lynette Schaefer, and I am here to go over Q4 2023 product launches. Sorry this needed to be recorded, but the good thing is you can watch it whenever you want, which is always a convenient way. But if you do have any questions, you can certainly reach out to myself or any of the product managers for any questions that you might have. So the first one that we want to talk about as we get started here is the AAL1. This is our new area light, and it takes place of the vert fixture that many of you are familiar with. As you can see here, it does come in 4 different sizes, a lot of wattages, a lot of different options as far as voltage goes. You also have the option of static CCT, or there's also a couple options which you don't see here that are also selectable CCT. You got static watts, selectable wattage. This little visual that you have on the screen right here is simply just a little snapshot. There's like, I don't know, 70 or so SKUs total. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that it does come in different types, type 2, type 3, type 4, and type 5. So just kind of keep in mind that if you do want to put in a T2 or a T4, we do not have those online. Only the T3 and the T5 are what are actually online. So the key here is that once you determine whether or not you need a T2 or a T4, did I say that backwards? Anyways, the T3 and the T5 are in stock. The T2 and the T4 are not. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that we have either the T3 or the T5 available in your wattage and CCT that you need. And then through our fixture modification program, we will go ahead and swap that lens for you. It's not something that we recommend doing in the field. So we'll go ahead and swap it. The other thing to kind of keep in mind is you've got to make sure that we have enough of the replacement lens, the T2 or the T4 in stock, and your regional manager can help you with that. They've got the part numbers for those. So just kind of keep that in mind. And again, they're not replaceable in the field, not suggested to do that. So we do it through our fixture modification program. Also, this fixture does not come with a receptacle to add a traditional twist lock photocell. However, it is controls ready, and you can easily add one of our standalone or network lighting controls solution to the screw-in receptacle, which makes it really easy. But I realize some people like that traditional sort of twist lock photocell that so many of us are familiar with. The only thing is that if you want that, you have to order it that way, and you have to make sure that you get it from the factory that way. So we, through our fixture modification program, we will actually open up the back of the fixture. We will put the receptacle in there for you for a NEMA twist lock. And then depending upon which one you get here, or the PC1 to the PC10, we'll also send you the photocell or just the shortening plug. So just kind of keep that in mind. So as a scenario, if you order a PC1, you're going to get the receptacle with the shorting plug. If you leave it default blank, you are not going to have the ability to add any traditional NEMA twist lock to the top of the fixture. And we do not recommend trying to make that modification in the field. And then let's say that you order like the PC9, that will come with a receptacle along with a twist lock photocell. So you've got a lot of different options there. Also, don't forget this fixture does have 4 different mounting options. You've got to make sure that you order this separately, or you have to make sure you order this because it is a separate item. So you get the split fitter. You also have the adjustable direct mount. So that's going to be used if you want to use it as more of a, I shouldn't call it flood because it's not really meant to be a traditional flood, but if you want to like mount it a little bit at an angle, which sometimes they do that in parking lots. We also have the trunnion mounts, and the reason that we went with trunnion mount is because it's a little bit narrower, so it fits a little bit better on, say, like a 4-inch pole, or you can also mount it to a wall as well. So there's a little bit more versatility with the trunnion mount. And then we also have the fixed direct mount arm as well. Now, as far as key features go, I already talked to you about the controls ready. It is a screw-in receptacle, and you can add either network or standalone controls. Again, the NEMA photocell option that goes on the top of the fixture needs to be ordered with the fixture. We do that in our fixture modification program. But again, with the new sensors that we have, it only makes sense to kind of just go with a screw-in type solution, is what I would say. We also have a toolless junction box. You can see here, the nice thing about this is that there's like 2 clips that you just basically clip down, so you don't have to worry about trying to get a screwdriver out if your hands are cold, trying to get the screws back in the hole, all that kind of stuff. It's a nice little hinge toolless design for easy access to the junction box. Of course, it is IP65, EiKO 3G rating. As I mentioned, we do have the T3 and the T5 are stock items. You can find those online. The T2 and the T4 are available through our fixture modification program. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an overview of our AAL1. Also, just so you know, the DLC is no longer pending. We actually have that now approved. So it is DLC Premium, UL certified, FCC, RoHS, all that good stuff. Power set options, field set options, dimmable, controls ready for standalone or network lighting controls. And of course, it does come with our standard 5-year warranty. Next up, you guys are very familiar with our HID filament lamps. I'm not going to go into great detail because we've already been selling these. The biggest thing is that we now have them available in the 5,000 Kelvin. So we basically just expanded the line from 3,000 and 4,000 to also now offering 5,000. So you've got your 3 different bases. You've got a couple different wattages. I think there's about 3 different wattages or so to choose from. And now you get 5,000 Kelvin, which is pretty cool. This has been a big seller for us. The biggest key features about this is that you do have the ED23 and the ED28 shape. You have the E26 or the EX39 base, so basically medium base or mogul base. Kind of that neat, kind of cool, unique filament style. Now, of course, this is a ballast bypass lamp, so you are going to bypass the ballast. So you're going to have to do a little bit of wiring out in the field because you want to make sure you get rid of that existing ballast if there is one in there. And of course, you know, that means no ballast is required. But it's really kind of cool because it does have this sort of stylish sort of look, and it really does a nice job of showing off the aesthetics of the lamp as well. And you can see here at the bottom, UL certified, damp location, wet location, all that good stuff. And this one is only a 3-year warranty, by the way. Next up, we have our volumetric troffer retrofit. Now this matches our volumetric our volumetric fixture. So we have the retrofit and then we have the fixture, and they match. Now this one does, you can see here in this little video that I'm going to play, it does have an EiKO 07 impact test rating. So you can kind of see how this test works. It's kind of cool. They basically take a little ball and they drop it down so far, and you can see that the lens won't be cracked or anything like that. So it's a very robust lens. Obviously, the fixture's available in a 1x4, a 2x2, and a 2x4. CCT selectable as well as wattage selectable. So a couple options with that as well. But ultra high efficiency, 140 lumens per watt. And yeah, pretty standard. I think you guys are pretty familiar. Now, the big thing about this product also is that it does come, if I can get past this video real quick, it does come with a couple of other factory installed options. I shouldn't say comes with, it has the availability to add factory installed options. So you've got your emergency battery backup. You've got the 8 watt, the 15 watt, and the 20 watt. And again, we can do that in the factory for you. And then we also have a couple of different control options. But honestly, these 2 control options are so easy to add. And I'm going to show you that here in just a second. You don't really need to have the factory do it, but if you wanted to, we can certainly add a standalone or a network lighting control solution to our to this volumetric retrofit, very similar to our volumetric new construction type fixture as well. So the key features are that it has that selectable CCT and wattage. It is controls ready, and the way that the controls ready works is that it just basically snaps in. So you can kind of see right here on the screen, this little thing right here, every single one of these fixtures comes with this. And then all you have to do is purchase either the standalone or the network lighting control solution, and you make just this little connection, and you snap it into the fixture. That's the reason why snap in is how we call it. So it's really easy to add controls to this fixture. You don't have to be an electrician to do that. And again, we can do that at the factory, but it's just so darn easy. Anybody can really do it out in the field as well. And what's also nice about this is that you do have the optional 2 side brackets. So a lot of retrofit fixtures come with just 3 pieces, basically the door housing kit and then 2 brackets. Ours actually comes with 2 additional side brackets to give you a little bit better security. And you don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it's there for those situations that you maybe need a little bit more structure to holding up that fixture. It's there. If you don't want to use them, that's totally fine too. But super easy, simple, quick install. The 2 brackets plus the 2 optional side brackets just makes it a little bit more flexible. And then also you can see all the different ratings that's available too on this volumetric retrofit. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about this snap-in sensor. This one here that I'm showing you, and obviously you can see on the screen as well, this gives you an idea of what you would do to add a snap-in control solution to a fixture. Now, this one happens to be the CSX1 fixture, but this is exactly how it would work on the volumetric retrofit as well as the volumetric new construction fixture as well. So super easy snap-in design. This particular one is a PIR standalone. Obviously, PIR is really meant for more where you have heat. If somebody, actually I should back up, it's really in an area where you don't have a lot of heat fluctuation. So that way when somebody walks into the space, it knows that somebody's there and then the fixture will turn on. So this one here is a new product that we also launched. That's the PIR snap-in standalone solution. It's got some factory defaults. It's also compatible with these fixtures, as you can see here. And I also mentioned those earlier. All of this is also programmable by the commissioning tool. So if you are going to purchase this product, you've got to make sure you also order the commissioning tool as well. And you can see that kind of on the far right-hand side of my screen. So what are the key features of this particular sensor? Well, one, it's got that snap-in design, so it's super easy to install. You can easily change the factory default settings using the commissioning tool. And that means you can change your brightness, which is basically your high-end trim. You can set your dim level, your sensitivity, your hold time. And then once your settings are all locked in, you can put the commissioning tool away and you basically are done. So we've got some cool videos online too that you can check out as far as how to commission the fixtures using that commissioning tool. And then the other cool thing is the sensor is super customizable. So it has dual ambient and daylight sensing technology, featuring daylight harvesting, occupancy detection, or you can actually set this up to act as a photo cell alone. Not that you probably would in an indoor application, but crazier things have happened, so maybe you will choose to do that. But the key thing is that you get one sensor and it can handle multiple different things based on how you use or how you set it up using the commissioning tool. So pretty neat. So again, this is a standalone PIR snap-in solution. So just to kind of I give you a high level, I guess, idea of what does controls ready mean and why do we have these screw-in, snap-in, and twist lock solutions. The whole concept behind the whole screw-in, the snap-in, the twist lock is that we want to make adding controls super simple, super easy, super quick with no wiring required. Now, on the far right-hand side of my screen, we do have one other sensor that we are referring to as behind the lens. This one here is a little different than being controls ready because you do actually have to make 3 wired connections. So this one on the far right is not necessarily controls ready because you do have those 3 wires you have to wire up. So you should have an electrician do that. But the ones on the left-hand side where it says controls ready, the easy screw-in, the easy snap, and the easy twist lock, it's all about easily adding controls to a fixture without having to do any wiring at all. The other thing that I just wanted to mention real quick too is when you look at our standalone control solutions, I obviously already talked about the PIR snap-in one, but all of these, no matter which one you're using, whether it's the PIR screw-in, the PIR twist lock, the microwave twist lock, the behind the lens, the PIR snap-in, any of these that you see on the screen, all of them feature the same thing, and that is they can act as a photo cell. They also have the ability to do daylight harvesting if you want. They all have the ability to do occupancy sensing. And the way that you do all those settings is by utilizing the commissioning tool. So again, all of these sensors feature daylight harvesting, occupancy sensing, a traditional photo cell if you want it to act that way, 2-stage dimming, midnight dimming, which basically means once the sensor turns on at night, it will stay on for maybe 6 hours or 8 hours, and then it will dim down or shut off entirely. Because, at midnight, do you really need the lights on at full brightness? Probably not, right? So that's the concept behind 2-stage dimming, is that the fixtures turn on, say at 5 p.m., and then they're on for 6 hours or 8 hours or whatever you program them to be, and then they will either dim down or shut off entirely at a certain hour after those 8 hours are up or whatever. These are featured again on all of the sensors that you see here on the left-hand side. And again, in order to program it, you just need to make sure that you use this commissioning tool that you see here. This commissioning tool can be used for multiple jobs. It's not tied to one job, so you can buy one of these, and if you're a contractor, you can utilize it for as many jobs as you want. And the only time you have to come back and reprogram any of these sensors is if you want to make a change. And the idea behind commissioning these is that you put your program into the commissioning tool, you hit a button, and then you shine it at the fixture, at the sensor, I should say, and you would do that for every single sensor. So it is very much a one-for-one sort of process, but it goes pretty fast. And the other nice thing is that some people will actually do these sitting down in an office environment or out in a warehouse. And then when they get to the job site, all the sensors are already programmed, and then they just install the fixtures and the sensors and they're done. So kind of a cool little idea as well. And this, again, is just a little bit more details on that commissioning tool. Basically, the biggest thing to kind of keep in mind is that there are some different modes that you can set up if you want. The biggest thing I think to take away from it is that go to EiKO.com. There, when you go to the product page for this particular commissioning tool, there will be complete details of exactly what you want to accomplish, and then just follow the instructions. So just download the instructions because it'll make your life a lot easier. And that's found again on the app. The other thing that I want, or sorry, the website. The other thing that I wanted to just mention real quick is switching gears. So that was standalone controls that I just talked about. Now let's switch gears to network lighting controls. So a network lighting control features the ability to do grouping and zoning. You can create profiles. You can set your high and low end trim, your occupancy or vacancy, your daylight harvesting, your time delay, your ambient threshold. There's so many things you can do in network lighting controls, very similar to standalone controls. However, the biggest difference is that you have the ability to do grouping and zoning with network lighting controls. And additionally, you can change those groups and zones. And also the big thing is that you do all the commissioning via either an iOS or Android device. Now, for a long time, we only had it available as iOS. That is definitely the most secure platform that's out there. However, we have opened it up to Android. So just kind of keep that in mind. It is free. So whether you're using iOS or Android, you download the free Silvera app, and then you would do your on-site commissioning. And it's a little bit different from like an RF commissioning tool, like the standalone controls. This one here, the commissioning is just a little bit slightly different, but very similar as far as Swiftbox, snap-in sort of design. So you can kind of see that how it all kind of comes together. Now, the nice thing about EiKO's network lighting controls is there's no routers, there's no hubs, you don't need a gateway, fast data transfer, resilient radio, it's scalable to thousands of devices, no restriction on groups and zones, and it reconfigures automatically too. And then we're also part of the special interest group, which just basically means stricter rules, more security, and then also to have that interoperability, because specifically with network lighting controls, these right here that you see on the screen, is you can easily add in, say, like an Ocean wireless controller, so you can have manual control, which is also something that you typically wouldn't get with a standalone control solution. So it's kind of nice to be able to have your options, whether you want standalone or if you want network lighting control. And then also the other thing I was just going to mention real fast is that I had mentioned that the network lighting controls do not require a gateway. However, we have had more people interested in ordering a gateway. So the nice thing about our network lighting controls is that if you want to add a gateway, you can, but you don't need to. Now, the only real reason why people would want a gateway is for real-time scheduling, if they want to do any type of energy monitoring, or if they want to tap into their lighting system when they're, sitting at their home or remote someplace outside of where the actual, location of the fixtures are. It's basically just enhanced functionality. You can also, do a few more fun things. So just know that we do have that available in case anybody does want to incorporate a gateway. It's available for you if you need to. And then what I wanted to do is just real briefly let you know that with the updates to the website, there are a lot of resources at your fingertips. You have all of your downloadable features on the product detail page. So like when I was talking about the commissioning tool, this is where you would go for that product, and you would then download your commissioning tool. It's basically, I think we call it an installation or a sensor control guide or something like that. But that's there. That's under downloads, as you can see right underneath the Create Lighting Layout button. We also have the accessories. So that's going to be where all the accessories for that fixture are going to go. And then we are also in the process, the product managers are in the process of also doing one for the controls. So basically you have three options: downloads, accessories, and controls, and that's now all available online. So just know that that's available as well. And then also don't forget, if you do not have a login for the website, you have, you're missing out, I guess. So you have to be a distributor partner of ours or an agent, have a customer number. And when you do get a login, so if you go to EiKO.com, kind of the middle up top, it'll say login. You'll have to register using your customer number. But when you do that, you're going to get some additional features. You're going to be able to, one, share the product easily. You can also request a better price if you need one. You can also see what your pricing is right here. You can check available stock and incoming stock. You can also put in your quantity, and you can add in your zip code, and you can calculate your estimated delivery time, exactly when you're going to get it. So all of these cool little things here on the right-hand side is what you get when you log in. You don't get logged in, it's kind of boring. You don't get to see too much stuff. So just know that if you are interested in signing up for the website, make sure you get your customer number and go ahead and head out to EiKO.com. The other thing that you can kind of keep in mind too is when you do have a login, you can also check your tracking. You can do RFQs. You can also check on returns and a couple of other things too. So it's kind of nice to be able to have a access to that website. Also, something to kind of keep in mind, you can now use the Best Price Finder tool if you are logged in. We do have a little bit more work to do on this, so just be patient with us. But the idea is that once you log in, you're going to see this Best Price Finder tool pop up right here. And this is going to allow you to choose if you want fixtures, LED lamps, traditional lamps, or sensors. And then you can pick your category. And then you can choose, hey, I need a 120 volt, or I need 277 volt, or I need this DCT, or I need that, or whatever. And it will give you, based on the quantity that you put in, what products we have that meet your criteria and the least expensive options, and they'll all be listed. So this is also something kind of cool that you can now have access to if you log in. All right. So I appreciate your time today. If there's any questions that you have, as I said, certainly reach out to the product manager, or you can send me an email too, and we are happy to help. Thanks.